unnecessary things. I recently joined Tinder. Yeah, thanks. I like how there was a silence, like of condolence, and then there was like one move from the back. But thank you, yes. I went on one Tinder date, okay? And then I went to my parents, and I was like, Mommy, Papa, arranged marriage.
I'd been thinking about doing it for a while, and then I kind of found a Facebook page for stand-up comedy in Pune, which is called Stand-up Comedy Pune. So that was easy to find. So I kind of saw that they had advertised for an open mic, then I registered for it, and I was really excited that my name was on there. And yeah, so that's how it kind of began.
Because this guy, okay, let's call him Rohan, because that's his name. Rohan thought it was appropriate on our first date to be like, Anamika, you're South Indian, right? So your marriage is already fixed to your third cousin. I was really offended, alright? Because my third cousin's not even that cute. Seriously though, I had to sit this guy down and explain to him, ki bro, my last name is Haridas, not Lannister, alright?
I dragged to a family function, and when you drag to a family function, you have awkward conversations with people, right? Yeah, one such awkward conversation, I was having my food, one uncle came to me. Uncle is like, hello beta, सब मजे में? मैंने कहा हाँ जी अंकल, सब मजे में. तो बेटा सब ठीक है, मतलब तुम ठीक से मैनेज कर पाती हो. Can you take a shower by yourself? कहा नहीं uncle, I can't. Uncle, लेकिन वो बाजू वाला कमलेश, he comes in every morning, we take a shower together. Uncle royally ignores me at family functions now. So I fell down in May 2016, and before that I had just released a short documentary film on disability. We were thinking of how to make the event not very serious, right? So I wanted to screen it on the occasion of World Disability Day, right? And I suggested that we could, have a couple of stand-up comedy acts, and then we could screen the film. So then the entire mood of the evening is not completely serious as such. I approached a couple of stand-up comics, friends of mine. I asked them if they'd want to do something on disability, but the kind of jokes that I wanted them to do, which was more towards the satirical end of it, they weren't very comfortable, and I wanted to very strongly put forth a point. So I was like, why don't I do it myself? And I wrote my script, I put it up my set in about 5 days, and I had a 10-minute set. In fact, I still use my first joke up till now. The set obviously wasn't very polished because it was my first time, but that's when I started doing stand-up comedy. I was super nervous, super duper nervous. On World Disability Day, I'm an inspiration, I'm going to change the world, I'm the queen. The rest of the year, people ask me questions, Can you climb steps? Why don't you work from home? Is your boyfriend differently abled? I said no, Kamlesh is sexually abled. He has a penis, what else do I need, right?
So I get these inappropriate messages. One of them said the other day, no, I couldn't hear him, but that's how I think he speaks. I wasn't sure. It's like, एक ग्राम का कितना लेगी? I'm like, excuse me? Mala? My writing partner now, Sumit, who basically used to head BuzzFeed Video India at that time, was working on a video project called Indians Try Stand Up for the First Time. And he's like, oh Aishi, you should come do it. And I was like, no way. But he managed to get me to the open mic. So the first time I ever did the open mic was on camera for BuzzFeed India. The video is still there, it exists. And I went on stage and I did it, and it was epic. It was amazing because the other 3 men who did it with me from BuzzFeed tanked and I didn't.
That
an uncle who sets this up? You know, there's one uncle who knows both families. Yeah, all the married people are nodding. They know what's up. Tell me how this uncle is not a pimp. Tell me, no? He's looking at eligible bachelors and eligible women and going, match the following entry. How is this man pure? Tell me.
I do things that are kind of like, I mean, I have a bit as well about being from Kerala and growing up in Maharashtra and the weird stereotypes that you encounter, and then you're like, oh, people actually think this. Is this a thing? And then just making fun of it on stage.
I was chatting with him, I realized it's not working out, so I told him. He said, babe, I got 10 inches, babe. Exactly. Manika, listen, my life is already very painful right now. And what makes you think that my crutch is not long enough? Being funny is not enough because I have to break that ice, you know. Like, I had a recent experience. I was performing at this open mic, okay, and the room was really good. So I thought, cool, I'm gonna get an applause. And the moment I went on stage and I started doing my jokes, I wasn't getting a response. So I realized that people were just too scared seeing a differently able person perform. So that also put me off track.
When a woman reaches 23, expiry date. It is 23 in 1 week? No. Mal bahut basi hai. Not nice. My brother has seen me live. My father hasn't seen me do comedy live. He's seen me sing live. But he's seen all of the videos that we've done and all of Queens of Comedy. So and bear in mind, Sumedh and I have made a video. Our second video ever was called Dead Parents. And he has seen that. And he has seen the Fat Girl sketch. And he has seen the Tinder sketch where I'm talking about like going out with people and sleeping with men and like all of that. He has seen all of it. I don't know, I don't think he's going to tell me if he like dislikes it, because at this point I think my father has also slightly given up, where he's just like, oh, this is Ayushi, this is her life, I can't do anything about it. So yeah, but he's sweet.
Because it talks about me taking a shower with a guy, right? And to my surprise, my mom laughed her heart out at that joke. My dad knows that I do stuff on disability, but he's a little conscious, so he's never come for my shows, and I'm glad, because for the kind of content I do, I think he gets scandalized.
There's always that one annoying non-smoker in a group of friends. They'll casually say condescending things like, I appreciate the dedication smokers have to dying. Really? If someone were dedicated to dying, do you think they would be like, slow and steady wins the race?
Yeah, I feel like with comedians there's already that camaraderie that's there, because you're seeing someone on stage talk about the things that they find funny and the things that make them vulnerable, and there's that filter is just removed. So I feel like with comics you just automatically, there's no filter, so you just talk about whatever you want, and there's that openness, and that's kind of trickled down into like the rest of my friendships. Like I feel like I'm more comfortable talking about things that I wasn't around, before starting stand-up, or like even a few months.
I'm just saying, if the smoker wanted to die, she would be dead, okay? She'd be chilling with Yavraj, maybe offering him a downhill, maybe kya pata Shivji ka dost ho. I think a smoker invented the word bro. Like, brother कहना चाहता था, लेकिन बीच में खांसी आ गई थी, so.
Now the default is humor. Like when something bad happens, like I'll fuss about it maybe for like 5 minutes before like I'm already thinking of a joke. The other day I fell off like a slightly moving train, and I was hurting, I was upset, and it was like, and I literally called Sumedh to tell him what happened, and his first reaction, he burst out laughing. He's like, you're so stupid. And I was like, yeah, okay. So it's like our default setting for everything is just humor, which I think is great, because it helps me deal with issues and problems and helps talk about stuff like that.
How many of you like kids? Yeah? That's one more thing that you have in common with Osama bin Laden. Okay? Not many people know this, but he had 54 children. Okay? 54. I had to learn how to say 54 in Hindi because I didn't feel like conveying this in one language was enough. I'm not saying that's why he became a terrorist, but it's easy to connect the dots, alright?
I work in telecom. I'm an engineer and I graduated last year. And I started stand-up after. The good part is the kind of work that I do, I get to leave it at my desk, so I don't really have to think about it that much when I'm done. And plus I stay close to work, which cuts down the commute time. So like it's usually work in the morning, and then if there's an open mic in the evening, then I go for that.
I want to produce content, and I want to, I don't know, like I want to do something for women in the comedy space, because I know that it's changing, but it still doesn't feel enough to me. It still feels like important people going, oh, it is changing, or oh, we are doing something. Like I would actually like to create a forum, or like just pluck women out of their respective fields and go, you know what, you should try this as well. I don't want to like change that. I don't want to like force them to do something they don't want to do. But people who have an inclination, for so long men have written us, and like I don't think men, like I'm not going to say bad things, but I want to see what happens when literally it's a bunch of women, like in every genre, who's just like, oh, this is how we feel, and this is how we think, and this is how we talk, and this is how we behave. So it's no longer dictated by stereotypes. That would be epic. That's what I want to do in the future. It's just like the money. Just like I'm like a douchey, like whatever.
I refuse to comment. I plead the fifth, even though I'm in India. But
That is my girlfriend right there. I mean, she doesn't know this yet, but whatever.
no, not that women, like, is it good? Oh my gosh, just edit this out. Stop.